Alright, I just completed the Suzuki Esteem propane setup. It's a 2000 model with a 1.6 liter 16 valve. Peek at it. Put a trailer hitch on it as well. It's a modified Geo Metro style trailer hitch. I'll give you a quick look over. If you're doing a kit yourself, or if you want me to build one for you. Now the spare tire and hatch and everything are in here, and I've actually modified them so everything is still here as far as it acts as factory. Kind of block you with the camera here, but push the carpet kit back here, and then so you've got your plate here that you put your groceries and stuff on. That's just to hold some weight. And then you got your tray here for putting stuff in, I guess. I'm not 100% sure what these trays are for. And then this is right here for taking the wing nut off of the spare tire before you pull it out, I imagine. I'm just going to set these right here. Cut the carpet back, but now you can see you can just take the spare tire out. Everything's stock under here. Spare tire holder. When you take the tire out, the handle and stuff's underneath the tire on a foam plate. And then use the D-ring for the factory D-ring bolt downs to hold down the tank mount. And then the tank mount just uses a forklift style clamps, and they're very firm. Let's see, I'm using a couple 400,000 BTU nozzles, and then basically I just drop down into the back behind the tire back there. You can't see it now, but there's a prior video, I'm sure I showed it. There's a 2-hose manifold there. Basically these hoses are long enough that you can take the tank out and set it on the ground behind here, and then unhook it and hook them back up, so you're not letting the gas off in the car. And that's just for smell. The valves are automatically shutting when you open the valve up, and the tank's automatically. So you can have the valve and the tank open, and the barbecue valve style valve, and the lines automatically shut off as soon as you open them up, and the tank shuts off. So the only way you can have flow is if everything's hooked together. Let's see. I'll give you a couple of different views here. I'm not sure what that shows. Well, I'm not going to climb underneath the car. The hoses just follow the fuel lines up. That's all there is in the car there. Unleaded is up. Propane is down. And then the fuel system, the wiring goes through the relay panel and switches the system from unleaded gas. And we've got your evaporator, your fuel shut off. There's a vacuum switch on the other side here. Air filter, your mixer, your idle control, and the rest of the lines are fuel, water, and vacuum basically. And normally I would leave a timing cover off on a motor, but this one has so many hoses that run up here, I left the cover on. It's the only time I've ever done that before, and then after I got it all back together, I think I would have built a bracket here and attached them all to it and left that open. Just FYI. But this is basically just the same setup you'd have like in your tracker. It's a nice setup. You also have this motor in a Metro too. It's a 1.3 liter instead of a 1.6 or a Suzuki Swift. This just happens to have the overdrive transmission in it. And then they use an electronic EGR. Power steering and stuff, of course, but that's basically the long of the short of it. Try to keep everything so it looks like it was installed by the factory. And just a nice and a soft mounted. No vibrations, no noise, should last forever. Easy to maintain. And that's pretty much it. I'll walk back over and show it to you one more time. And, so those are just 7.5 gallon barbecue tanks. So we've got 15 gallons of propane on board. And then, oh, I can't remember what. Let me set this camera down for just a second. I cannot remember how many gallons the factory tank is. This car's got lots of fuel, lots and lots of range. And I've cut these so they fit like this. They used to be longer. And go back up underneath where the tanks were. Honestly, if you didn't know that, you wouldn't even be able to tell. Fit right back into where they're supposed to be. And that's pretty much it. I had to take a couple of, I've made these lines too short originally, so I've actually got it out here airing out. Got a little propane that's shot on the carpet, and even though it's invisible and doesn't stain or anything, the smell, which is just now starting to go away, hit it with a little Febreze, and that is why I moved the length and the lines out. Yeah, but besides that, it's a nice setup. If you were using 5 gallon tanks back here, you can actually use the factory. I'm not sure what the heck they call this, but you've got your cover that would come back here and cover. I had the camera pointed down, so it's got a canvas that pulls out. And if it had 5 gallon tanks back here, you can actually pull the canvas back out and it locks in here, and we'll go over the top of the tanks if you wanted to hide them. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So those of you that are doing propane conversions, this is it's basically a modified Metro setup, and then it's just a completely different setup underneath the hood because it's a multi-port, and I went with a 225 horsepower fuel mixer instead of the smaller 100 ones that we run on the Metros. And that was actually just because it fit better. This car would take 100, because I believe it's 92 or 98 horsepower. And that's pretty much it. And so it's got a 2-inch receiver on it for a trailer hitch, and it's got the same rating as the Metro, so 100 pounds of tongue weight, 1,000-pound trailer. And what else can I think of? Just the end of the day here. Didn't plan this out. Just want to do a quick video and upload it for a little reference later. I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah, I think that's it. And this is Mike's. He's taking this up to Alaska. Tells me up in Nome, unleaded $6.50 a gallon and propane's $5.50. But he's got a little propane farm at his house there. He doesn't have to worry about the unleaded going bad. And I've never been in the super cold with the propane, so I'm not 100% sure, but everybody says that since it's already a vapor, the cars start right up, so you don't have any cold start problems. So I imagine that'll be a huge benefit being in Nome in the winter time. Alright, if you have any questions or you want one of these installed, just holler at me. And thanks for watching my videos.